There is one exercise that you can do that is probably one of the simplest and most fundamental anti-aging exercises possible. And here's a hint, it's not what I'm doing right now. So first of all, let's just say that there is a difference between getting older and aging. You can't stop the clock. So you're gonna get older no matter what. But aging is more a function of the things that happen to your body when you don't do anything to prevent those things from happening. The decline that you experience as the years go by from lack of use. As we get older, we lose mobility, we lose flexibility, we lose muscle mass, we lose strength. And a lot of that happens because of not only our choices in our diet and our lifestyle, but just from lack of use. So one of the simplest and most effective things you can do to slow down some of the effects of getting older is what I'm doing right now. A full squat. All the way down, no weights, just a simple full squat. Now you might be watching this video and looking at this and saying, geez, I'm too old and stiff and overweight to ever be able to get in that position. Well, if you want to spend your time arguing in favor of your limitations, then guess what? Those are going to become, they're your limitations at that point. On the other hand, if you want to look at the possibilities and argue in favor of the possibilities, you might be surprised what you can accomplish. You know, and just to give that a little more perspective, I spent my 20s working as a millwright and doing concrete work, climbing all over equipment as a welder, basically trashing my body. And I had gotten, by the time I was probably 31, 32 years old, I couldn't bend my knee in a right angle even. I mean, literally it would not bend. It would stop and there would be so much excruciating pain that I just couldn't go any further. Well, in my early 30s, I was convinced by some coworkers to join a softball team that we had, a softball team for our company. And of course they put me in right field because I couldn't run and I sucked. So I'm out there in right field just kind of twiddling my thumbs, hoping nothing comes. And sure enough, some idiot hits a fly ball to me. And so I stiff-legged run for the fly ball and I had to jump to catch it. And when I hit the ground in such a way that my knees actually bent way past a right angle, but in the correct direction. And I could actually hear noise when it happened. But what happened was whatever cobwebs, whatever's going on there, something gave a little bit. And I realized that, oh, my knees can bend. I can get past that. And yeah, it was excruciatingly painful. It pretty much took me out of the game. But from that point on, every day I started spending a little bit of time just working on bending that leg a little bit farther until now finally I can, at 64 years old, I can bend them just as good as the average, whatever, 20-year-old. So don't give up just because you've got injuries or you've got age, arthritis, whatever it is, or even if you're overweight to the point where your meat actually gets in the way. You can solve all those problems. You know, and if you're already older, you're already stiff and you have trouble bending your knees that far, then there's some simple things you can do to warm up before you even try. And these are things that you should do on a daily basis to help fix those problems with flexibility that you get as you do get older. So here's a really simple one that helps with the full squat. You get down on your hands, on your knees like so, get down on your hands and knees, and then simply go back as far as you can go. I mean, if you can go all the way back, go all the way back, stretch your arms out, and just hold that position for a 10 count. And then after you get to the 10 count, come back up, let your kind of your circulation get back in there for a few seconds, and then go back down and do it again for another 10 count. And that can help That simple exercise can help kind of break loose the cobwebs that build up. I call it cobwebs, but it's the stiffness, the soreness that builds up in your knees. That simple maneuver can help make doing a full squat possible. Another simple stretch that's helpful because it loosens up your hips, makes you a little bit more flexible, makes that full squat a little easier to do, is just to sit down on the floor, bring your feet together and bring them towards you as much as you possibly can. Hold on to your feet if you can, and then just push down on one side at a time. And again, counting to 10, getting the full benefit of that stretch, and letting it up. Push down on the other side, counting to 10, and then again letting it up and relaxing. Or push down on both sides and lean into it. Lots of ways you can free up your hips, free up some of your movement so that you can get where you can do that exercise again. You know, it is very important to have a goal out there in the future that you are trying to achieve when it comes to your fitness. But no matter where you're at on your fitness journey, it's important that you start. And you have to start from wherever you're at today. So if you're at a point where you're struggling just to get in and out of a regular chair, then maybe that's where you start. And maybe what you do for a change in that program is start by trying to get out of the chair without using your hands. Instead of pushing yourself out of the chair like maybe you're used to doing, just try getting out of the chair without using your hands. And if you're able to do all that, then maybe find something that's just a little bit lower than your chair and increase the level of difficulty. Go down, squat down onto that, no hands, and then come back up. Really simple stuff. Now I know this might seem like just a simple, ridiculously simple thing to do, but for most people over 35, 40 years old, if you haven't been exercising, you haven't paid any attention to your physical fitness, this can be a very difficult maneuver to accomplish. So don't underestimate the importance. And as you age, the older you get, the more you'll appreciate the ability to be able to sit in this position. And not only just sit in this position, but the amount of mobility that it gives you to be able to get in this position, to be able to get up from it comfortably. So once again, if you got value from this video, please share it with your friends, please subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.